Hello everyone. So this is the house where your mystery reader lives. Wondering if you can guess who it is by the voice. Well, I bet you guessed it. It's me, Mrs. Carlin, sitting on my front porch, one of my favorite places to read. Come on in and I'll show you some other places where I love to do summer reading. Alright, so here we are inside. And there's my son Carter. Can you say hi, Carter?
Hi.
And his girlfriend Marisa.
Hi.
And I think I hear my cat. I'll try to get a quick picture. I hear him. There's my cat Shady. He's rather dark, so against that dark rug, it's hard to see him. Shady. Here is one of my other favorite places to read, and it's on my back patio. And this is where you'll find me at least a couple of times a day on that couch reading the latest book that I've checked out from the library. And here is who is usually sitting or laying right next to me. Jack. Hey. And that's Jack, waiting to go inside as it's starting to drizzle out. Jack is my 9-year-old chocolate lab who enjoys laying or sitting next to me when I'm reading. Can you say goodbye, Jack? And another of my favorite spots to read at my house, my bed. And look, there is a stack of books just waiting for me to read them this summer.
This time we'll introduce our Mott's Book Madness winner, Gaston.
Mason, you are right. The kids in our class sure love this book this year, Gaston. And look, boys and girls, and it's not green screen. That's a big birch tree in my backyard. One of the great things about summer is getting out and becoming one with nature. So, I'd like to introduce to you the book Gaston, our class favorite. Gaston, words by Kelly DiPuccio, pictures by Christian Robinson. Boys and girls, we were lucky enough to have Kelly come to our school and give a presentation. She's a local author that lives in a nearby community. I'm wondering, is that little cute white dog named Gaston? Well, let's read and find out. Gaston. Here's the title page. I'm seeing that cute little puppy that we saw on the front cover, but I'm seeing another character as well. Let's read to find out what happens. Mrs. Poodle admired her new puppies.
Fifi, Foo-Foo, Ooh-La-La, and Gaston.
I hope you enjoyed my friends helping me tell the story. That is their favorite line in the book. Would you like to see them again? Fifi, Foo-Foo, Ooh-La-La, and Gaston. Perfectly precious, aren't they? Mrs. Poodle thought so too. The puppies grew as puppies do. 3 were no bigger than teacups. The 4th, however, continued to grow and grow until he was the size of a teapot. He looks familiar. Mrs. Poodle took pride in teaching her puppies how to be proper pooches. They were taught to sip, never slobber. Good, well done, very nice, nice try. They were taught to yip, never yap. Yip, 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 rough. And they were taught to walk with grace, never race. Tip, toe, tippy toe. Whoa! The puppies were also taught how to look pretty in pink, nibble their kibble, and ride in style. Whatever the lesson, Gaston always worked the hardest, practiced the longest, and smiled the biggest. Mrs. Poodle was very pleased with all her puppies.
Fifi, Foo-Foo, Ooh-La-La, and Gaston.
Spring arrived, and the proud mother was eager to show off her darlings. She took them to the park for their very first stroll in public. There was so much to see: daffodils, ducklings, dogs. Oh dear, who do we have here? Rocky, Ricky, Bruno, and Antoinette. I wonder if you noticed something about these 4 puppies. Would you like to see them again? Rocky, Ricky, Bruno, and Antoinette. Does 1 look different and 3 look similar? This was more than a little awkward. The mother sized up the pups. The pups sized up one another. It seems there's been a terrible mistake, Mrs. Bulldog said, breaking the silence. Oui, Mrs. Poodle agreed sadly. Whatever shall we do? Mrs. Bulldog could not come up with an answer. I guess we'll let them decide, she replied at last. Gaston and Antoinette were young, but even they could see there had been a mix-up. The 2 puppies began to circle around and around the group. Gaston walked with grace. Antoinette raced. Gaston yipped. Antoinette yapped. And when they finally came to a stop, the puppies had traded places. There, that looked right. It just didn't feel right. That evening, Antoinette tried to fit in with her new sisters, but she did not like anything proper or precious or pink. Phooey. On the other side of town, Gaston tried to fit in with his new brothers, but he did not like anything brutish or brawny or brown. Ick. Antoinette and Gaston weren't the only ones who were having a hard time adjusting. Boys and girls, what do you think makes it hard? Do you think that they're so used to having their other family there that it just doesn't seem the same? The next morning, Mrs. Poodle forgot all about being proper and raced back to the park. Mrs. Bulldog was already there waiting with her burly brood. It seems we've made a terrible mistake, she nearly shouted. Oui, Mrs. Poodle happily agreed. This time, Gaston and Antoinette wasted no time trading places. There, that looked right, and it felt right too. From that day forward, the families met in the park every afternoon to play. Rocky, Ricky, Bruno, and Antoinette taught the poodle puppies a thing or two about being tough. Likewise,
Fifi, Foo Foo, Ooh La La, and Gaston
taught the bulldog puppies a thing or two about being tender. And many years later, when Gaston and Antoinette fell in love and had puppies of their own, they thought they taught them to be whatever they wanted to be. And oh my, boys and girls, were you as surprised as my kids were to discover that Gaston and Antoinette got married? And my class talked about, what do you think the lesson is of the book? Authors are always trying to teach something. There's the heart to the story. And so think about that and maybe share that with someone at your home. And here's a little something my class and I also discovered, that there is another book and it's called Antoinette. Maybe you could check that out from your local library. I hope you enjoyed this book as much as my children did. It won our March Book Madness Award. And now, boys and girls, it's time for me to head to the beach. Let's see if I have everything I need. Sunglasses, check. Sunscreen, check. My towel, check. And never will I go without a book, because even Mrs. Carolyn is concerned about the summer slide. I'm going to make sure I read while I'm there. Have a great summer. I'll see you in August.